Governor Dayton constitutional officers, members of the state legislatures, members of the press corps, ladies and gentlemen, today we are the Hmong Minnesota at the state capitol, the very foundation of decision making for the common good of the society, to raise our issues of concern, failing to properly address by the Attorney General Office. Among the issues within the office jurisdiction that have been neglected are the following. The Attorney General Office, 1, failed to properly investigate financial corruption and embezzlement of the Law Family community of Minnesota and the Law Family Foundation. 2, pitted one group of the Hmong Minnesotans against the other group for this office political purposes. 3, support the violence, Law Family against members of the Hmong Minnesotan community. 3, supported Law Family organizational nepotism. 5, denied the will of Hmong Minnesotans. 6, neglected its judicial authority specified by the Minnesota statute. 7, performed its judicial responsibility on the basis of partisan politics. Since 2010, the Hmong Minnesotans reported to the Attorney General Office that the board's members of the Law Family Community of Minnesota Incorporated and the Law Family Foundation pocketed hundreds of thousands of dollars of the Hmong monies generated by the Hmong New Year celebrations and the Hmong 4th of July festivals. But the Attorney General Office refused to properly investigate the loss of the monies. As directed by the Attorney General Office, the Hmong Minnesotan collected and provided this office proven evidence, including the witnesses about the Law Family corruption and the embezzlements, but to this office refused to consider this evidence. The Attorney General Office divided the Hmong Minnesotan community for its political purpose. The Attorney General Office, according to the board president of Law Family, advised the leaders of the Law Family to form the Law Family Foundation to host the Hmong New Year celebrations and the Hmong 4th of July festivals. The Attorney General Office also advises the Hmong Heritage Preservation Committee of Minnesota to host its own Hmong New Year celebration and the Hmong 4th of July festivals, pitting one group of Hmong Minnesotans against the other group. The Attorney General Office divided the community for its political gains. The Hmong Minnesotans report to the Attorney General Office that the board members of the Law Family commit several acts of violence against members of the Hmong Minnesotan community. But the Attorney General Office refused to investigate the threatened acts, although the acts has been reported to the police officers. office that the board presidents and the members of Lau family practice organization nepotism, but the office ignored the complaints of the community. As such, the Attorney General office commit a misfism, neglecting its judicial authorities and responsibility specified by the Minnesota statutes. Today, we are here to demand demand the Attorney General office to, 1, properly investigate the Lau family financial corruption and embezzlement. 2, stop Lau family violence against members of the Hmong Minnesota community. 3, stop advising and dividing the Hmong Minnesotan community for its political purposes. 4, ban organizational nepotism of the Lau family. 5, exercise its judicial authorities and responsibility as stipulated by the Minnesota statute. 6, respect the will of Hmong Minnesotans. 7, handle its job accordingly to the law, not partisan politics. In conclusion, we of the Hmong Minnesotans demand the Attorney General office to act now, responding to our demands. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for Michael. Yeah, 你到上了的，被我招了，来就我来招红了，所以原来呢，你做梦说的，你要到多support 的，原来呢。yang ni dah de, tu nak jual je pi, yang nong sekat ni lahai, vì hai tiền ni ya tu yo la campaign o, sau hậu lử tu tao de nó ya cho hậu Attorney General Office, yang ni dah thọ pi mua tiền chạy to sekat Newman, thank you for sekat Newman, thank you for you to come here to speak to the public here, and we all need to support you, and thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I've been invited here today by the Hmong Cultural Heritage Committee and by the Association for the Advancement of Hmong Women in Minnesota, and I'm very, very happy to be here. Let me start by talking about America a little bit and this particular rally. In America, we have a system of democracy where the freedom of expression, the freedom to gather, the freedom of speech is ever present. And I want to assure everyone here and everyone that is ultimately going to tune into your newscasts that you have every single right in the world to be here today to protest against the government action or government inaction that you feel is unjust. That is the way that we do things in America. And the idea of political protest is not only appropriate, it is, in my estimation, your civic duty to step up and make your views on what your government is doing or not doing known. So I want to congratulate all of you for coming out here today to express your views. It is the right thing to do. The next thing I want to talk to you about is this issue involving your current Attorney General, Lori Swanson. There have been allegations of unlawful business practices by the Lau Family Foundation, which is a nonprofit corporation in the state of Minnesota. The Attorney General's office in Minnesota has a directive from the Minnesota legislature in the form of a law that says the Attorney General shall investigate unlawful business practices of a nonprofit corporation. That is exactly what we are dealing with here today. As I stand here, I have to tell you, I don't know whether or not there have been any unlawful business practices or not, because that is the purpose of the investigation that you are asking for. What I can tell you with certainty is this: it is the job of the Attorney General's office to conduct the investigation that you are requesting, and it is your right to do so. Once that investigation has been completed, then we will shed light on the truth of what has been occurring or not occurring within the Lau Family Foundation nonprofit corporation. So I encourage you to continue to ask the questions of your Attorney General to conduct the investigation to which you are entitled. The Attorney General's job in the state of Minnesota is to represent the state of Minnesota, and by extension thereof, I believe, all of the people in the state of Minnesota. And so when you are asking for this investigation, you are right, and you are correct, and you have the right to do so and expect that your Attorney General is going to respond. Now, the last thing I want to mention to you is this. We have an election coming up next Tuesday. You will have the ability to have a direct influence on the outcome of your rally today by getting out and voting next Tuesday. It is your right, it is your responsibility as Americans to get out on Tuesday and vote. If you next Tuesday when you vote, the direct outcome of this rally that you had here today is this. I can assure you that if you go out and you vote for Lori Swanson for Attorney General, nothing is going to change, because she has not investigated violations of business practices by nonprofits in the future, in the past. Why would we expect that she would do it in the future? So if you vote for her next Tuesday, nothing is going to change. But I will make you this promise. My promise to you is this. If you go out next Tuesday and you vote for Scott Newman for Attorney General, I will listen to you, and I promise you I will listen to you. And I will do the job of the Attorney General without partisanship and without politics, because I think that is also the responsibility of the Attorney General, is to proceed without regard to political affiliation. And that is my intention. So next Tuesday, I urge you to get out and exercise your right to vote, select the leader that you want in the Attorney General's office. And as we move forward, let me just conclude by saying this. I am sincerely happy to be here. I am really a newcomer to the Hmong community. But I've got to tell you, I don't think I have ever felt more welcomed by a group of gracious people than your Hmong community, and I thank you very much for having me. Have a nice day, and best of you to the rest of your rally.
Swanson to beat her in the election on November 4, which is just 6 days away. I was state representative Andy Dawkins before Sai Tao was the legislator for the neighborhoods right over here. I was lawyer Andy Dawkins for 35 years on University Avenue. And one of the laws we have in Minnesota is that the Attorney General is in charge of being the overseer of our charities, the watchdog over our foundations, the one to make sure that the money is spent correctly and not abused. And it looks to me like there's a problem with how Lau family is spending that money, and it should be investigated. If I'm the Attorney General, when you come to my office and you ask for an investigation of a charity, you get it. I'm not running as a Democrat, I'm not running as a Republican, I'm running as the Green Party candidate because I see too often, even when I was in the Capitol as a legislator, too often that the Democrats and Republicans are both beholden to the big money interests, are too political. This is supposed to be a job for the people, and I'll be your lawyer, the people's lawyer. I appreciate you letting me speak. Remember, vote November 4, vote for Andy Dawkins for Attorney General. Thank you.
Thank you.